let's get into my favorite part, as always, the SuperCoach segment. As I just mentioned, I'm very happy to bring Chris Jordan. He's been getting a few wickets, and he's got 4 wickets and about 30 runs or something in the last couple of rounds. So I'm very happy with him. Let's go have a look at the Heat versus Scorchers. This is going to be an absolute thriller. You got probably the 2 best teams and the 2 best SuperCoach teams as well. You got 3 of the top 5 bowlers. Scorchers have the best batting lineup in the competition. So let's have a look. I don't think we could break down every single player. Leo has every single Scorchers player in his team. But who are you going for your SuperCoach pick in this one, Leo?
Yeah, God, that was a mistake picking every Scorchers player. And the one player I don't have is Ashton Agar, who performed the absolute house down. So
yeah, I think I'm playing you this week in SuperCoach, Leo, in our comp, and let's have a look at his scores. I reckon he's had about 1 or 2 players score over 10 points so far this round.
He was in the top 1%, I reckon, in Australia last week, and now he's been shot back down to earth.
I don't know about top 1%, but I'm going to move away from the Scorchers bowlers here because I think a few of my recent picks have sort of let me down, and I'm just going to try and go for someone who's proven that he's dominated this season, and that's Xavier Bartlett at 201,000. I was debating whether or not to bring him in for this week, and I should have. That was a big mistake. But, yeah, he's been a real weapon this BBL season. He's the leading wicket taker, which is – it's a bit surprising. Like I knew he was performing well and taking wickets, but to see him at the top of the tree of taking wickets is really good to see. It means we have a bit of depth with the ball at BBL level, and he just really loves bowling on that Gabba wicket, which has a bit of pace and bounce. I think he was on a hat-trick last game against the Hurricanes. So I've really been impressed by him, and I think he's one to watch tonight. Who are you boys looking towards? I'll go stats guy.
All right. Yeah, I really like that Bartlett pick, actually. He's been surprised. I think everyone talked up Spencer Johnson. Maybe Bartlett was worth the 1.8 mil in the IPL auction. I don't know. It might be a bit controversial, but yeah, but Spencer Johnson has been nowhere near as good as Bartlett. He's the best, one of the best outswingers in the country at the moment. I love watching him bowl. I'm going to go another Heat bowler who's also in the top 5 wicket takers, Mitch Swepson. Didn't even get a bowl last game because of DLS. They were like, I don't need you. The pace is working. But he's been absolutely awesome. 146,900. I think that's still an absolute steal. He's got a 5-round SuperCoach average of 70, which is huge. And then he averages 58, which is his second best of any team against the Scorchers. A lot of players don't average high SuperCoach scores against the Scorchers because of their absolute dominance, but he does. I think he can frustrate some of these big-hitting batsmen to get some wickets. And it will be tough because their batting lineup is really good. But there's a few guys in the middle order that I don't think will like facing his spin. So I'm going to go Mitch Swepson. I think he's going to get at least 2 for, maybe even a catch or 2. So he'll get a really good score. And especially at 146,000, I think that's an absolute steal. So get around Sweppo for some wickets. What about you, Marcus?
Well, it just has to be Josh Inglis for me. Again, 161,900. I sung his praises last week. Had a score of 66 against the Thunder. Performed really well with the bat. Took a couple of catches and in fact, he scored 102 points in his last match against the Heat at the Gabba. So if that suggests anything, hopefully we'll have another field day tonight. But actually, that leads me into my prediction where I'm going to go the Scorchers. I'm going to go the Scorchers here to beat the undefeated Brisbane Heat so far. I think, we mentioned Uzi and Marnus are coming back. I think you'll touch a bit more on them, stats guide. But I just think, that transition could be a little bit tough. Alex Carey seemed to be fine last night, but I think just like slotting them in for the sake of they have to be in the team for who they are. But I think, will that disrupt, the batting order and the lineup of the Heat? Who knows? So I think I'll just back the Scorchers here. I think they're just a little bit more settled and have a bit more touch of class.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Nice segue into the picks there. Are you going towards the same way? I think I might go against you guys, but maybe you go first, Leo. Who are you picking in this Heat versus Scorchers? It is at the Gabba, just for those who don't know as well.
Yeah, I agree with Marcus. I think also just the Heat are just due a loss. Like, I know I don't really want to tip that way, but...
He's a Heat hater. That's what he is. It's the start of the season. What did you predict him to finish?
No,
last?
That wasn't me. That was
game. Was it?
He said they were going to finish second or third. I think third, I said, yeah.
That wasn't my finest prediction, but look here, it's really just I think the Scorchers, even if they are resting players, which they have in recent games. Obviously, Berendorf didn't play, so he'll be fresh. Lance Morris only bowled 1 over, so he's going to be fresh. They've just got so much depth that can play on this batting or bowling wicket, whatever it is at the Gabba, most likely batting wicket. And I think the Heat, as you said, Marcus, could disrupt them bringing in those Aussie guys, but they're also, I think they're just due a loss. And if you lose to the Scorchers in the title, I guess, replay from last year, which was an awesome game, then, it's not that bad and you can move on from there. They're already in finals, so that's my tip.
Yep. All right. I'm going to go against you guys. The Heat. I think this is the new wave of BBL dominance. You got the last 5 or 10 years, really. The Scorchers have either been in the final, in the one before the final. I think the Heat are going to be right up there. Obviously made the final last season. They should have probably won that game. Cooper Connolly just turned that game on its head when he came into bat. But the Heat were in the box seat. I think they'll gain a little bit of confidence from that, and they've been a lot better this year. They're on their longest ever winning streak. They've got 3 of the top 5 bowlers and wicket takers in the Big Bash this season. I just think that they're just an awesome team. I'm not too worried about Uzi and Marnus coming back in because they're batting, even if they make a really crap score, they've been bowling teams out. So I think they'll be one of the rare teams that will bowl the Perth Scorchers out tonight, just when you got Bartlett, Swepson. Who else? You got Spencer Johnson, you got Nisa. Nisa hasn't even had to bowl a lot of games. I just think this is the best bowling cartel in the whole competition. And I think that's going to make a big absolute scenes in Brisbane tonight. They'll be going off because a win against the Scorchers is so rare. I think they're going to get a win and probably shock a lot of people. And people go, oh, maybe they can go all the way. So we'll see tonight. And we should have put a bit of a wager on your SuperCoach matchup, by the way, but we'll have to do that for next time.
Well, let's just go back to the start of your prediction stats, guy. I reckon that was probably, I don't know if you meant that, but that could have been one of the most sly and weak puns of all time.
What was that?
The heat on a wave. The heat wave. I'm not too sure about that.
I meant that. I meant that. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. That's a moral victory for Stats Guy.
Thank you. Yeah, I haven't had many moral victories, so I'll take that. Thanks, Marcus.